seems like I ask you this every week in the preseason, but are there still guys you want to get a last look at in terms of evaluation? Or
Oh, yeah.
pretty much where you...
Yeah, we still want to, I mean, obviously the wide receiver group, there's a bunch of guys there, and, how many guys we're going to keep, and those guys are still battling for position. A couple of guys are, obviously they're all returners, so that's where it comes into play for me.
Now that you've seen Lewis kick a bit, is that still a consideration? Or
Yeah, Lewis can kick off. I mean, there's no question about that. He can kick off, and he can be a viable cover guy. Just like I talked about before. He can definitely do that. Go ahead.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Just how encouraging is it for someone like Sky Moore to have such success at kickoff return, given we weren't sure if he was going to be part of the mix there?
No, I'm glad. I mean, he obviously he wants to do it. He can also be a punt returner. We were going to get him one in that game. It just didn't come up. Late in the game when he finally came out. Once they take him out on offensive defense, there's a period of time where I kind of wean him off the special teams. So sometimes I get him on for a play, and then sometimes I don't. So I tried to get him one on a punt return there, but I didn't. But he did a nice job in the kick returns. He hit it up in there, and he was had a lot of desire to make a big play. So that's what you're looking for.
Sorry, Blair. Any concern on your part that Winchester won't be ready for?
No, no concern that he won't be ready. I mean, he actually, he's a tough guy. He got it shot up at halftime and then came in. So I mean, it was pretty. Came back in the game. So. If we had a real game right now, he would do the same thing. But regular season game. But this game, we can bring in a guy which, we like this guy that we brought in from K-State, and get a good look at him.
If you had to, would you be comfortable with him in a game, the new guy?
I don't know. We'll see after this game. We're gonna find out.
What did James do?
Excuse me.
What happened to James?
He landed on his shoulder I think it was the first punt. He went down. He got pushed from behind, landed right on his shoulder. So. The extent of injury, don't ask me that. I just know it's a shoulder injury.
Noah, after the game, kind of took us through him
Unbelievable.
What was that like?
Unbelievable. See, Kelsey's our backup long snapper, and Kelsey, I can, during the regular season, I can throw him in there, and he's dynamite. Does a great job. But he was already out of the game, so now we're up to our third snapper, where you really don't work a guy. But he did a couple snaps on Saturdays, like during the mock games during the year last year, and. He actually, they just threw him in there. Those guys took him in the back there, and just like he said, Jay and Bucker and Matt, those guys took him on the side. I'm still, coaching the game. Those guys had him on the back, in the back there, and got him ready to go. And he did a great job.
I'm sorry. You had to be happier with the return game than the previous week.
I was, yeah. We didn't get a lot of rep in that other game. There was a lot of touchbacks, so I was looking forward to. I'm glad we got some returns this week to see, what our stuff's going to look like. I was happy with the way they blocked and they finished. They did a nice job.
There's some rumblings that the discussion point might be the 30 versus the 35. Do you think the 30-yard line is enough to encourage?
Well, I'm hoping, but I'm a little nervous just because of the yard start now. I mean, it's right around the 28, 29, 30 yard line. So teams might say, hey, we don't want to risk it and hit the touchback. You guys know what's going to happen. When we first designed this thing, we had it designed for the 35. It was the competition committee that came in, the coaches' competition committee came in and said, hey, if we need to get out of a game, we just want to be able to kick a touchback without such a drastic penalty, to start at the 35. So that's why they moved it to the 30. But the unintended consequences on it is that are they going to just kick touchbacks? Is that going to be what we're going to get again? So, we're yet to find out. I doubt if they'll change it this year. I think Aponte said something the other day about it, and I don't think they're going to change it this year. So it's going to have to be an experiment, until the end of the season. We'll see what it looks like, and we may move it back next year if everybody likes everything else about the kick return.
Dave, how do you recognize that there's still time left? How do you envision your kickoff return depth chart? I mean, if you played a game on Thursday night, who would you envision putting back there?
I don't know. Could be McCole. Nico did a great job. I'll be pounding the table for that guy. I love him. Steele, he looks good back there. He hits it north and south. He'd be able to block. He's a guy that you could use a backup running back. Somewhere. Maybe Prince. You know, you need bigger guys that can block too back there. It's not, you know, you just can't have 2 punt returners back there, I don't think, you know.
Dave, I'm trying to take you back in the archives a little bit. You go back decades with Spags, obviously.
Yeah.
I think even El Paso, right?
Well, we went to school together at Springfield College in Massachusetts in 81 and 80 and 81. So he was a wide receiver and I was a tackle before I transferred to UTEP.
Okay, all right, so
That's how long I know Spags.
even more than I knew.
Yeah.
Just during that year he was out of the game, were you in touch with him? And what impact, the bigger question really is, what impact do you think that had on him? And did you see?
Oh, I don't think I think it really helped. He went around. I don't know exactly all the teams, but he did. He went around and visited teams, and I remember him coming by, you know, and I can't even remember where we were at the time, but he would always come by during the off season and watch and, you know, try to get ideas, you know, here and there. But he's, you know, obviously he's a great coach, and he does, you know, he's done everything in his career to make himself, you know, where he's at now.
Did you get the sense it refreshed him? I mean,
Oh, there's no question. You
Yeah.
know, there's no question. You know.
Last one, PJ.
I know it's still the new kickoff still in its infancy, but just how do you see it, how it would translate back in the day, you know, even before Hester, before like even Dante Hall, but just like, you know, like even back in like the 70s?
I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, but I just hope that there's not just a bunch of touchbacks again. I really do. You know, I hope people are trying to, you know, scoot it in there and trying to you know, maybe cause a, you know, a touchback by hitting it in the target zone and then try to scoot one out of the back, and then us trying to field it and get it. And you know, I just think it's going to be so much more exciting for the fans, you know, rather than just sitting there and just watching touchbacks all day. You know, and I think that's the biggest thing, and all the different rules. I mean, obviously people figure it out. It's not that complicated. You know, after a while they'll be able to figure it out.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.